while it's still catching up. I knew it was gonna catch me. I knew it was gonna catch me. God damn it! God damn it! Nachos are a traditional part.
Fuck. Right as we go. Fuck. Sorry.
Hey.
What's your Twitch handle, Steve? _ That's why I was like, it gave me that.
Yeah, I kept making that mistake too.
I want this whole bone picking journey without getting any meat stuck between my teeth, and as soon as we go live, I get some shit stuck in my teeth.
As soon as Camille's, of course, this is just, hey, it's the way.
Look, I skipped out on that versus last night because I knew they were going to go 7 hours. I
did too. I knew that was going to be that long, although they insisted that they were going to try to wrap up because it was a Sunday. I was like, there's no way. You get these folks in a room and the stories and it's just impossible.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So this is me inviting myself to the barbecue later since I missed them.
Hello, Dungeon Mommy.
Hello, Dungeon Mommy. How's it going? My name is Aaron, AAA Ron on Twitch and Twitter, and I'm going to be playing Dragon.
They can't hear you, Steve. No,
Oh,
it says can't hear you. Clock said he can't hear you.
Oh.
Down. Let me fix that real quick.
What?
I bet you that they can hear me now. I bet they can hear me now.
Can you hear him now?
Yeah, there we go.
We're there.
Let me bring my vocals down a little bit. You can hear me too damn much.
Yeah. All right. So I guess you gotta do all that intro over.
Yeah. So welcome to Dungeons and Dying of Exposure. I am your Dungeon Mommy, Steve. I'm joined by wonderful players, both familiar and new to Dying of Exposure, but not to D&D. Everyone here has played some tabletop in their past before. We started, and you got to hear Dragon introduce himself. Above Dragon, we have the very talented Prowess. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Prowess, sometimes the Testament, a suffix, and I'm so thrilled to be here and D&D it up.
And then right across from, I keep trying to come in when Ryan's not eating, and it's very hard.
Ryan is like making me hungry. It is beautiful.
Right across from Prowess, Desh, want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I turned the volume off. Like, what the? I turned this off. Why did you do that to me? Twitch? Okay. Yeah, my bad. I'm KadeshFlow. I am super happy to be here, and I like long walks along the beach.
Yep. He does like them.
It's
I like
true.
popcorn. I like eating booty. Yeah, and I'm playing enough.
Do you do it like how you go at the ribs, or is that a different?
Way less teeth. Way less teeth.
I mean,
Thank God.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, I don't think that's what you're not. And as always, with all Dungeons and Dying of Exposure properties that they are involved in, last and way at the bottom of the least, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Camille. I am playing Frond in this campaign. You can find me in Through the Mill, and that's about it.
That's all you need to know about Camille. You don't need to know anything more.
My secret. I'm sorry, I also like popcorn and eating booty as well.
It's a 50-50 on the booty eating from the party. This is obviously not a stream for children.
Not exactly. My favorite booty is pirate's booty, and that's for kids.
So, and that's for kids. Okay. Yeah, let's just all pretend we were talking about pirate's booty.
Pirate's booty.
Yeah,
sure, Twitch. That's what we're doing.
Sure.
So this is a new campaign. This is episode 1. It's Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It's a pre-made module. I thought that meant that I would have to spend less time on it. I was wrong. But we're going to be doing it every other Monday here on Dying of Exposure. And we're starting raw, we're starting rough, we're starting at level 1 characters because that's what it's made to do. So we're just going to jump into the wonderful world of Waterdeep and Dungeons and Dragons. And so I will set the scene for us. Waterdeep is one of the most famous towns in Faerun, as well as especially along the Sword Coast. Part of the Council of Lords, along with Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, Waterdeep absolutely takes so much of the mythos of the world around it and condenses it into a closely packed, many-streeted city. Everyone in Faerun knows about Waterdeep, but only some people ever go there. It's not the safest of places to be. It's no Baldur's Gate, but there's still danger about. We start at the docks of Waterdeep. People allowed in from traders to maybe not so above board traders to travelers to vacationers that just want to hear what all the hubbub is about in this beautiful city with a brand new open lord that is taken over and made a much more transparent and for the people government, and an undermountain filled with mysteries. Walking off the ship, we see a large, scaly, black dragon wearing somewhat tattered clothes. Aaron, would you like to describe your character?
Yes. He's a blue dragonborn. He stands at about 6'8". He's fairly large and bulky, but he's dressed simply. He has some fairly simple, basically like tunic and pants, and then over that he's got a chain shirt, and then over that he has some somewhat lightly tattered basically salt encrusted robes. That he's clearly worn out at sea for a lot. And his chain shirt is rusted, and he carries an anchor around with him. A big, rusty anchor.
A big, rusty anchor. What a beautiful, beautiful, normal, average-looking dragonborn blue boy that he is. So as he walks off the deck into Waterdeep, a place that he's never actually been to or made port in before, he's followed by someone not necessarily on the coattails, but fairly close in step. A child? Not quite a child. Certainly, hopefully not a child once you get a closer look at them. Frond, do you want to describe your character a little bit here too?
Yeah. So Frond is not good to look at. She's uncomfortably kind of thin, kind of strangely stretched out for a halfling. She's taller than your average halfling, but still short enough to disappear in a crowd. She has kind of these unnervingly large gray eyes. Her skin is pale and dirty. Her hands and feet are especially dirty, but both are kind of long and nimble. Her hair is an absolute like curled mass of orange with twigs and moss throughout it. Looks like it could definitely use a good brushing, but she'd probably hiss at you if you tried to do that. And much like Dragon, her clothes are kind of remnants of what they once were. Kind of what was previously sturdy leather adventuring clothes are now tattered or heavily repaired. She carries very little except for a satchel and a hand axe, and she's kind of furtively following quickly behind Dragon, her big giant eyes kind of staring at everything.
All right, the two of you have seen the docks. They're busy. They're always busy, even in the latest of night. Middle of the night, no moon, still people loading and unloading ships. Waterdeep never truly sleeps. You can see off on the rise of the mountain the castle keep that acts as the center and seat of power at Waterdeep as the hill sort of, or as the city sort of rises up along that hill. And you see a number of dock workers sort of like working away at lifting their crates and pulling, like large nets of seafood and shellfish off the shore, and city sprawls before you. I leave it to you, Dragon and Frond. What do you do? What do you do? You just stepped off your ship.
Dragon looks down at Frond and just, hey, is there anywhere you want to go? Anything you need to do?
What about food?
Yeah, food. Food sounds like a
Yes.
good idea.
Food.
Been eating nothing but salt pork for months. Let's go.
Yes.
So we're gonna go find some street food vendors.
So unlike other campaigns I run, Waterdeep is not riddled with street food vendors. Filled with stick meats. Waterdeep.
If there's no stick meat, I'm out.
Waterdeep.
Dragon is very nonplussed by this. Like, what kind of city is this without street food vendors?
At least none that you can see right now. What you see now is the docks and warehouses sort of sprawling before you. You do see guards and magisters checking people in, and you kind of see it as you walk off the dock that it seems like most people coming off the dock have to check in with a magister or a guard or an administrator of some kind to let people know that they're in Waterdeep. You also see going up the street, there's various, like, what we'll call community boards, little wooden bulletin boards with different flyers and handwritten scroll notes and such. And an exclamation point on a mini map that you look at in the bottom right corner of your vision. Little boards there. The place of this is massive. It's bigger than most any cities, certainly than Frond's been to, and probably even most places that Dragon has been to. The Magister. So I asked, do you go in line to register yourselves as official visitors to Waterdeep, or do your buddies or bellies call you elsewhere?
I guess if we're already aware that this is what we should be doing, then yeah, Dragon would just get in line.
Frond probably like is already kind of going off towards the food, and then like catches that Dragon's not behind her, so she's like, eh, and like turns around and kind of like looks at him like, really? This? Not
Yeah.
food?
Yeah,
sorry. Food in a minute, but we got to do this first. Basically, it's
Fine.
busy work.
Fine.
As you stand in line, you find yourself standing behind a hulking form, hulking in a different way than Dragon might be considered. Very round, but not rotund so much as his shell is massive. He's just standing in front of you, waiting as well to put his name on the list. He did not come in on your ship. And beside him, almost mirroring your situation, is a tiny little grubby kobold that's currently just gnawing on the remnants of a delicious, like, pork rib. And the tiny kobold is chewing away as the large turtle-like creature just kind of monologues at him. It seems like it should be a discussion, but the kobold isn't offering much to it. Well, now that we're here, we can go, finally, and make it right at the portal. I know that I pulled you out of there, and you didn't want to go. I thought I was rescuing you. Looking down at the kobold, who's just sort of casually nodding while not removing his mouth from the almost completely clean, sanitized as if it had been in the sun for 1,000 years, bone that he is working on this pork bone. I guess while I'm there, I can maybe figure out some sort of work. At least they don't overcharge for drinks there. And that is where we're going to pause for Dragon and Frond and jump over to a different side. The Troll Gate, set in Waterdeep, set in kind of the northern section of Waterdeep. Very unmonitored, very unlikely, but certainly a way that a lot of individual travelers make in. There we see one of those travelers, like a absolute, not so much fish out of water, maybe like another scaled beast out of water, if Dragonborn even enjoy being inside the water. The large gates are opened up, but this section is muddier. The cobble streets are kind of covered in dirt. It looks like a lot of supplies might be brought in here from farmers and such, but this isn't where the tourists enter the building or enter the city. There, a red dragonborn, possibly either reading or scribing some notes into a book, is seen solitarily walking in. Prowess, would you like to describe your character, Chessmay, a little bit?
Yes. So my character is Chessmay Eshriel. She is, as you heard, a dragonborn wizard who gives 0 Fs about anybody, but it's full of optimism and hope at the same time. I don't know how you can be both, but that is how she rolls. You see, she has this beautiful amulet that she's decored in. That's for in case hoes try to stroll, they get rolled. One chop of the block. Okay. Try and you die, right? So this is she's just, I think, coming into herself, right? Is at that age of discovery, but wise beyond her years, and really looking to find a sense of is looking for adventure, sort of exploring far away from her homelands, was really excited about all of this sort of exotic wild world that she's in right now, and is looking to find more.
As you stroll with no one trying to roll on you, at least at the moment, there's a number of people. Again, it seems like the gates are always surrounded mostly by laborers, but the city sprawls out before you. Now you, Chessmay, have heard of Waterdeep. You've read about it. You've been excited to write about it, and it was always going to be a destination. But recently, and you're not even sure, honestly, how you were tracked down, you received a package from a traveling little troupe of gnomes that had this, like, weird mechanical horseless wagon that they traveled on. They had located you somehow, simply handed you a wrapped package, and in that package was a bound book, very cleanly bound. You know your books. Yes. The cost of this was not minor or meager. It's an expensively done book with blank pages on the inside and a little note inscribed on the inside cover of the book, which currently remains, though pleasant, just completely blank on the cover at the moment, on the outside. But on the inside note, a simple inscription that says, "Oh, I see that you're following in grand footsteps. Happy to have the company. Come find me at the Yawning Portal Yawning Portal Tavern here in Waterdeep." And then just a little dash and a capital V for the signature. That was sent almost mysterious, like out of the blue, mysteriously to you. The gnomes didn't know anything about it. They'd received the package from a different courier who'd received the package from a different courier. But it was delivered to you, and it was an invitation to Waterdeep and an invitation to the Yawning Portal Tavern. So adventure took you this way. Do you head immediately there, or do you wander about first?
I think I go to Watering Hole. I'm going to Yawning quickly.
Yawning quickly.
Yes, Yawning Portal Inn is on my list. I'm going there.
Yeah, it's certainly famous. Everyone knows about it. There's a whole undermountain that you can explore that has riches and creatures and mysteries underneath this, that people get lowered in from the tavern to there, and people cheer, and it's famous. But with an invitation, certainly you can go down there. I'm going to have you roll the first roll of the game. Can you please roll perception for me, Chesme?
Yes.
Well, Chesme is rolling. Thank you, Po Peaches, for the 200 biddies.
Yeah, thank you. Yay.
Po Peach is already trying to affect the game. On our streams here at Dying of Exposure, if you do things like subscribe or donate or what have you, that can 100% impact the outcome of the game. We have microtransactions, not for the players, but for the spectators. So I do it in Through the Mill. I'm bringing it to here as well. So feel free to invest in that if you want, or let them suffer at their own dice rolls. What did you get on your perception check, Chesme?
Nat 20.
20.
20. All right, you don't even have to ask anybody. If you got a nat 20 on the perception check, you've been to a couple cities before, but you've read enough about the Yawning Portal that you're like, I just head toward the direction of the Castle Keep, and it will appear before me. So the Yawning Portal will absolutely be on your path there. And also with the perception of a nat 20, the little you notice that though people aren't necessarily approaching you aggressively, it might be good to stay toward the center of the street's walking paths, as this area of town definitely has some alleys that are very dark, and you definitely see some people darting in and out of them. Not maliciously, unless you think about a coin purse or what little money that you have on you being taken from you. Then that's where the malice lies, in the financial place, not the livelihood.
Oh, shit.
Yay. So we're going to, as Chesme makes her way toward the Yawning Portal Tavern, we cut to another seemingly random, even though it's scripted and there's another player here, so you know who I'm
totally
going to go to. We're just not going to talk to Ryan the entire time. It's just going to bounce between Chesme and Frond and Dragon, and Ryan's just going to smile in the corner.
No, he's going to eat pork chops in the corner.
We get to the cafe, or like the inn, and he's playing trombone in the corner.
Not yet.
I believe it's a sack butt.
There you go, sack butt.
Eating the sack butt.
Booty sack butts. That's what I eat.
You've actually been in Waterdeep for the past couple days, Shujaa. You've just come here. This is not a place that you necessarily had on your path. Almost every traveler winds up at Waterdeep eventually, but it wasn't necessarily high on your schedule. That is until you got an invite. Your invite was a little different. It actually has some sort of inscribed kind of gold inlay threading that isn't on the surface of the cover, but actually like veined through the material that the book is bound into. And your knowledge of all things magic that you're slowly accruing, that you've been studying and working at, adding to your repertoire of various skills and abilities, lets you understand that this is an empty spell book with nothing written inside of it except on the inside cover, doing heroic things is amazing. Doing entertaining things is amazing. Doing them both together is life's truest joy. Or please come to Waterdeep and the Yawning Portal Tavern. I think you might be interested. -V. And that was sent to your little your via the same sort of mysterious package delivery. In your case, it was a halfling who had received it from a half orc, who had received it from a half dwarf, who'd received it from a half bugbear. Half off deliveries is the name of that service. All halves. We'll get it to you in half the time.
Halfway there delivery.
The halves and the halves not. Anyway, that's enough there.
I'm gonna have to ask you to stop.
And so with that bit done, you were currently staying in a relatively small, like almost a converted home of an inn. It wasn't, dorm room bunk beds, but it was small little private rooms that barely had enough room for a bed and a stool in it. In a nice enough neighborhood, but nothing too extravagant or wasteful while you were sussing it out. So you haven't been to the Yawning Portal Tavern yet to meet this V. But maybe today, what does Shujaa do? First, what does Shujaa look like?
Shujaa Wakichawi is an Eladrin, which is basically an elf from an elven race that cultivated cities in the Feywild. Shujaa is a little on the tall side for an Eladrin, but still wouldn't be considered would probably be considered a little above average height by, I guess, human standards. Slender guy, dark-skinned, dark hair. People who see him perceive him wearing a loosely fitted green shirt that resembles something like a V-neck, baggy gray trousers that fit at the ankles with some light brown mid-cut boots and a light green headband. Around him, he has a black cloak, but protruding out on either side of his shoulders, you notice a case for what might be what's probably a trombone. And on the other side, there looks to be a hilt of some sort of weapon. And he looks happy-go-lucky, but deep under his eyes, there seems to be hints of some combat and some deeply seated trauma. But he masks it with a jovial nature. He doesn't seem to meet any strangers. He's just kind of hanging out at the moment.
So there's not much to do certainly in the room, but there is much to do all through Waterdeep. Upon your first surveying of the area, certainly as a performer, the place has a nightlife. That's no surprise. Waterdeep, of course, would. But it is dense. This is certainly a performer's kind of haven in the region. Not so much like an artistic commune of a city where universities and things, or certainly not like Candlekeep University for bards, but a place where a lot of people move in and out, a lot of people pass through, and they're looking to keep themselves busy at night. And so the place provides, the city provides. But a place you've not yet gone is the Yawning Portal Tavern, which is infamous in performer forms because both the rowdiest and the most wealthy wander through that 4-story tavern of just pure chaos. Absolute nonsense occurs there. You've got
good.
book in hand.
Well received.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've got book in hand. Is today the day that Shujaa decides to meander on toward the tavern? It's kind of in the afternoon time. It's lunchtime. It shouldn't be too out of control then. You get some, or is today, or do they wait another day and then no longer role play in this session of the campaign?
Oh no. Make him work for it.
Oh no. So Shujaa just got done wandering around trying to find a clothing shop that wasn't outrageous, because what he's wearing, while it would be considered like if somebody saw it, they would be able to tell that it's something that would be worn by somebody who was attending or working a casual entertainment event that would be attended by aristocrats or nobility. It would look that way if you hadn't worn it a little bit too long in too many situations that aren't the situations that the clothing's supposed to be worn in. So he's a little conscious about that, being in such a sprawling city, not looking fresh, especially being a performer who wants to make an impression and hopefully make some money with some of the top tier people in town. That attempt was overcome by his recognition that he's in a foreign land and doesn't necessarily have a lot of money to spend. So he does decide ultimately and begrudgingly to venture towards the tavern.
With his clothes a hot mess. Just absolutely not dressed for the job he wants. Shujaa makes his way to the tavern. We're going to return now to the Yawning Portal Tavern. It's just ridiculous, I know. Ridiculous. We're going to now go to the Yawning Portal Tavern. We're going to return to Frond and Dragon. Frond, as you approach this 4-story tavern, not a lot of taverns, even tavern inns, are 4 stories. You enter into what appears it's a big ass tavern. It looks like it started as 2. It definitely started as 2. And then Waterdeep doesn't seem to have extremely strict building code laws. And so you can really tell that 3rd and 4th story came in a little bit later. You see this tavern's outside, and literally outside of it, it's noon. It's high noon right now. You see the big sign, Yawning Portal Tavern. Tavern. You've probably already been here. Don't make trouble. And at this point, Dragon, you remember you were already kind of in a direction of Waterdeep. You remember that the last stop at a harbor that you'd made, which was actually up in Neverwinter, before you'd met Frond, a pixie had delivered you a small wrapped package which had a book in it. And the book was a book that you'd already kind of seen out and about. It was a book titled Volo's Guide to Monsters.
I'm a huge fan of Volo. I was super stoked to get that.
Yeah, and it was so it wasn't something, but you hadn't ordered it. You'd never had anything delivered by a pixie before. It was kind of questionable that the pixie could carry the heavy book, but it did. It dropped it off, and then it waited for a tip, very rudely. Both pixie hands out, wanting a silver piece the size and shape and weight of itself. And then upon opening it, though, this edition, felt a little thicker than some other editions that you'd received before, and you realized that several pages toward the back of it were blank. And B had an inscription on the inside of it, a little note that simply said, "All things must change. All things must evolve. We lack any sort of change in one particular area. And I think you might be the man to bring it. Meet me at the Yawning Portal Tavern in Waterdeep -V. And you didn't pull that out a moment when you got here because, like, literally a month had happened since that happened. You were already kind of going south. The ship was going to go to Waterdeep. But at the
Drago's
time,
probably like, someone decided to write some poetry in the margin.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's weird. So upon entering Waterdeep, or the Yawning Portal, Frond, 4 stories packed to the gills with people. This is a busy tavern. Now, Dragon, you perceive this as a medium busy tavern. There's several people at different tables. Frond, this tavern might have more population than the home you grew up in. In it. Especially on the upper floors. Because I didn't have to create a map for those, so I didn't have to fill them with things. Especially on the upper floors. There are so many people on those upper floors.
The champagne room. Right?
No, they're exposed balconies and whole sections of floors. And there are rooms that are going off of them, but there's noise. There's multiple people playing instruments like a guitar center.
I there's no sex in the champagne room.
There is a champagne room. It has a sign that says no sex, and then that's crossed out obviously by something else, and it's like definitely sex. But there is you open it up, and there's a bar off to your left-hand side. People everywhere. How's Frond feeling right now?
Agitated, but like excited too. Like this is the biggest. This is the only city she's ever been to. It's probably one of the biggest towns or settlements she's ever been to. These are some of the biggest buildings she's ever seen. So she's like inherently uncomfy and kind of like looking around, like kind of ducking behind Dragon as if he's like a big kind of like rock as which she can like kind of have full cover.
Would Frond be opposed to being like carried or like sitting on my shoulder or something? Just so you can see what's going on?
I think she like how do you offer that to her? Is this like the first time where you're like, maybe I should pick her up?
No, I figure like if this is something that we do, then we've probably done it from time to time. So, but if it's not something that we do, then he wouldn't offer.
Yeah, no, I it's not something that has happened before. But
Okay,
if this is the first time where you're like, maybe she needs to be picked up, that's an okay. Like,
yeah. Well, that basically, Dragon's just gonna look down at Frond and just kind of check on how you're doing.
There is food in here.
There is food in here.
All right. All right.
Are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go find a seat.
Yes.
I don't know how they do things in these in cities this big, but I do know that they have to seat us, or we find one.
They seat us. We don't seat ourselves.
Some places, or we find one.
How did it make me sit? Whatever. Food.
Yeah, let's go find food.
Frond and Dragon find a seat near something that seems to be quite popular. Frond, from your perspective, Dragon, you see this as it's approaching, but from your perspective, what you see is kind of in an open area where none of the upper floors cover until you get to the roof. There is a large, tall, standing winch, crane device, and then as people kind of clear the way and you get toward where Dragon's leading you, Dragon, of course, interested to this, there is, in the center of this giant tavern, a 40-foot chasm with a plank kind of going off into it, and like a platform hanging from a rope to lower down, and it just goes down into what looks like an abyss. And it's just there in the center of the tavern. There's tables all around it. There's people drinking and having conversations. There's a bard plucking a 3-string lute at the bar. There's people having arm wrestling competitions with a half-orc woman. There's serving. There's a server rotating around with a platter of drinks. But you find a nice empty table close to it, but not on top of it. Frond, this is the Yawning Portal. This is the portal to the Mountain. Dragon, you saw this going in and simply had to look. You had to look. No one's gonna see a big giant hole in the middle of a tavern and not check it. There's a little sign in the corner, or like right on the rim of it, that you can see from your table that says "Definitely not the champagne room." Definitely not the champagne room. But you do find your seat to the busy rumblings of this, and a woman walks up to you. Simply saying, "Hi all, my name's Bonnie, and I'm here to serve whatever you need. What would you like to order? Welcome to the Yawning Portal. Welcome to Waterdeep. This your first time? It looks like your first time," pointing at Frond.
When do the sacrifices into the portal go? Is that soon?
What? The sacrifice? I mean, whenever they're too drunk to think that they can survive down in the portal, I guess that's a sacrifice. That's on them, though. It's like a self-service sacrifice thing. Oh, I like you, you weird little critter. And what about you, big, tall, and handsome? What do you? First time here in Yawning Portal here in Waterdeep?
Yes, it is my first time. I would like a water.
Would you like that water deep? You see what I did there?
Deep waters.
Deep waters. I got you some deep water. What about you, little friend? There's no actual sacrifices. You don't want to go down there, but there's a whole mess of trouble down there. But some people think that they're bold enough to go down and mess with that trouble. And so nothing good comes with messing from a mess. So what would you like to drink and eat, sweetie?
She looks at Dragon meat?
Would you like meat to drink or eat?
Eat.
All right, we can get you meat.
Yeah, what kind of meats do you have?
We've got Spam, we've got Oscar Mayer wieners, we got Bologna.
Why does the Oscar Mayer have multiple wieners?
It comes in a pack. So what happens is it comes in a pack of 6, but our buns come in a pack of 8. It's very complicated to balance. We got a lot of loose wieners because the math doesn't add up right. Otherwise, we're just wasting buns.
That sounds like an inefficient system.
It is very inefficient. We've also got a number of cheeses. We got Cheese Whiz. We got American's Craft Singles. We got whatever you please. As long as
do you sell seafood by the bag?
No, I see you've been to Davidstown. Nope, seafood by the bag is not something we serve here. We do not specialize in There is a brass bass, though, going into the Castle District. So if you're here in a few months, that's their specialty, is a chain restaurant from another podcast that I would like you not to bring up during diegetic play. No, but we have some snapper, and of course we've got some cod. We do have lamb. We've got chicken. We've got pretty much, if you can put it into an oven or on a grill, Yawning Portal's got it. Our specialty today, though, is what we like to call pork chowder. It sounds disgusting, but it is delicious.
Yes. Two of those.
I'm willing to try it. Yeah. 2 of those. Hell yeah.
Bonnie nods. Three. Okay, 3 of them it is. Mm-hmm. And a deep water. 4. You keep upping the ante here. You know Like
Big
I'll
stomachs.
be big stomachs for both of you. I see.
Big
All right.
stomachs.
So she takes your order. Make sure to get 4 bowls of pork chowder and a deep glass of water. And heads out. Walks past Chesme as Chesme enters in the Yawning Portal. As I described, it is a very large, like middle busy tavern. You've been to enough taverns, Chesme, at this point in your life to know that this place could be body to body if it needed to be. And so there's plenty of people here eating and such. But there's not too much going on other than as you enter, you can see sort of a bard tuning up his 3-stringed lute. You see some people eating in conversation, some others eating alone. Nobody's currently being lowered into the Yawning Portal, which you were more prepared for since you knew about why the tavern had its namesake and had read various descriptions of it, which is a little disappointing. Nobody named Blake or Chad is ready to take on the Undermountain. Cause that's some white guy shit right there. Yeah, put me in the portal, bro. I can do it. I got this, bro. I got it. I played lacrosse at Candlekeep. I know how to handle fucking some shades. I'm not afraid of ghosts. There's a man behind the bar, human man, kind of like mutton choppy mustache and beard, just sort of like doing his normal bartender thing where he's rubbing that same spot on the bar that's always dirty with his rag, and handing people drinks. Few other people there. You've been asked or invited here, and you're looking around. There's plenty of people here. You don't know who invited you here, other than V, which you have a sinking suspicion who V might be, but you don't have a confirmation on that yet. What do you do? What's your first instinct what's Chesme's first instinct upon entering a new tavern?
I think it's because Chesme is really, just really thinking about finding her place. So it's all about, this is relatively new to this world, looking for purpose, but knows that nothing is a random chance. So I think there's a little bit of excitement and a feeling of trying to make connection. So find somebody that they can connect with. Chesme wants to really interact with other races. Hasn't really done so much of that in recent times. So wants to really be able to think about how through their divine powers, kind of coming from the original world to here, what that looks like. So wants to really find connection. So would be looking for someone to do that with.
All right, I'm going to have you roll your second perception check. Only Tia rolls this entire campaign. Wow, it's the only dice roller. I'm not even going to do it. I'm just going to automatically crit on all of you in every combat.
Yeah.
Then we're just playing. What? We're just playing. Okay, we're already just playing pretend. We're playing pretend with guidance.
Yeah. Well, I love that threat too because we're all casters.
Oops, all casters.
Oops, all casters.
All right, what you get on your perception, Jessica?
Nice.
17.
17. All right, with a 17, you notice a lot of people.
Do you have a perception bonus?
Let me take a look. You do. You have a +5 to your perception.
So
Yeah.
that's a 22 then.
22. With the 22, which at first you don't quite perceive as much, but then your eyes get into focus with the new light, of the warm light of the firesides and candles and lamps everywhere in Yawning Portal Tavern. You notice a lot of different people here. Again, there's a half-orc woman wrestling some kind of rowdy-looking fellas off in the corner. There's some There's certainly some gnomes and some elves and some humans and some things. But one thing that you do notice another dragonborn sitting at a table, but he's not why you're looking at that table. You notice something that you have definitely never seen or heard described before. Chessman, you know about halflings. Everyone knows about halflings. They are just shorter, human-looking people. They kind of have a bit of a gnome feel to them. They kind of have a bit of a human feel. But, they're just smaller people. And you've met several halflings. You can't remember once in your life so far, limited as it's been, where you've met a halfling that made you look twice at them in the way that this one is making you. This is the first, for lack of a better term, shocking-looking halfling you've ever seen. Every halfling, they're notoriously, they're friendly, they're gregarious, they seem to work this. I don't want to be aesthetically cruel, but this halfling looks like they have lived 1,000 years of the worst life, but also that they're around your age at the same time. It is the weirdest thing, weirdest little creature, and it's just sitting there with that other dragonborn, and the dragonborn isn't like pushing it away or anything like that. At first, you might think it's a goblin.
Yeah, Fron probably doesn't sit on a chair. She never sits right. She's always sitting in the bisexual manner, in
strong bisexual energy,
crunched up, very unnatural, sitting backwards on a chair like she's never sat in a chair before. It's weird.
Certainly big eyes, certainly looking around. Not a lot of engrossed conversation at that table. Perhaps an opportunity for you to socialize a little bit.
Yes. Anything for my stories. I need some lore.
Anything for your lore.
All the stories.
So do you approach this table of complete strangers, one of which is much stranger than the other?
This sounds like my kind of lore, so yes.
The two of you, Frond and Dragon, you see Dragon, another Dragonborn. You've seen Dragonborn just walking around water. They all. I am suspending the part because I just don't want to use the magic stick all the time to make sure Dragonborn can be in Waterdeep. They just can. There's a magic stick. They've got to be blessed with the magic stick.
Oh right, yeah,
it's stupid. We're just I'll explain it later. But we're homebrewing the magic stick is not necessary.
It's Waterdeep's their racist border control policy.
Yeah, it's that they don't like dragons.
Waterdeep has it right. Okay.
All right. Getting into this conservative D&D campaign. Let's get into it. No, you see this, you see a red dragonborn approach. A little bit, your average dragonborn tends to get hired for specific positions, not because they're dragonborn, but because they're big. Goliaths, same thing. Half-orcs, same thing. Big humans, same thing. You tend to get hired based off your build a lot. The jobs are easier to get. This one is dressed cleaner, dressed a bit more extravagantly. Mostly it's that amulet, which is not an amulet you necessarily recognize, but it doesn't look like just costume jewelry or actual heirloom fancy jewelry. The outfit isn't saying I want to show off money, but the amulet feels like it might be, but not in that way. Not in that way.
Yeah.
Frond, it's another dragonborn. Everyone is a stranger to you. Another dragonborn.
It's true.
I'm
the opposite of Shujaa.
All right. So does Dragon have his mug of water?
Yep. So the water and the pork chowder bowls, all four of them, just appear. Bonnie just smiles. but has delivered it just before Chessmate walks, so that I don't have to have Bonnie talk to Chessmate and interrupt
Okay.
you guys playing with each other.
And have to try and come up with more menu items.
I can come up with menu items. There's sardines in a cup. That's where we take a cup and we fill it with sardines. There's sardines in a cone and a waffle cone. I highly recommend the waffle cone sardines. We cover them in cinnamon and sugar, and it's disgusting. But we also have bucket of melted ice cream, so you can have that too.
Well,
I'm done. I'm done with stupid restaurant
You're
items.
the opposite type of food DM than I am. we do things very differently when it comes to food. You're a disgusting monster. I love you.
I am no George R. Martin. I will admit that I cannot make anything sound delicious. I take normal food items. We have Twinkies. What that is that you take a French bread roll and you fill it with Old Mayo and then you eat it.
I wish to escape this conversation.
All right, I'm done.
is
I'm done.
awful.
I'm done. I love bad foods.
Real quick, one last note. I just want to say, for a moment, I pictured George R. R. Martin DMing a game and just spending like 15 minutes describing the food in a scene before asking his players, all right, so what do you do?
There's quail eggs. They're on a bed of crisped rice harvested from this particular region. Now, what's interesting about that? No. All right. So,
When the entire
Chessmate,
village was massacred. After delivering the ship.
the tragedy only makes the rice more delicious. There's two people having sex in a corner. Anyway.
Oh, that's
George R. R. Martin, one of my favorite authors, absolutely a flawed little man. So Chessmate, Dragon, and Frond are at the table.
Yeah.
Chessmate has just approached your table. Now is the time where I get to do my favorite thing is for DM and be like, role play.
So Dragon has his mug and he just looks over at Chessmate and kind of nods. Hello?
Messily eating soup.
oh, what a mug. So big, not quite as big as mine, but it's still sizable there. Well,
undercuts right out the gate.
Just like straight for the fucking gullet.
I will eat your children.
Oh, this party's gonna need Shujaa just to be kind to people. No.
Okay.
Continue.
how's that soup you're having? Would you mind sharing some?
Dragon scoots over. Like, what's the seating like? Is it chairs or booths or like?
So actually, we'll transition a little bit over to this. We'll just pretend that it's no, we won't transition yet because Suja's not in the room yet. The seating, you are all sat at a table that's got like benches on it. There's also circular tables with individual chairs, as well as some booths on the sidewall. So there's all, but you're on a picnic bench, basically.
Are we on the first level, or
you are on the first level? You are on the first level, roughly a few feet away from the actual Yawning Portal, about 5-10 feet away from the edge of it. So one of the benefits of being here as well, Chessmay, is that you actually get to see kind of the endless abyss, and it can be described, but it cannot be experienced through words. It is haunting and off-putting that it's just here and everyone's fine with it. Like, nobody's mad at it. Nobody's, like, boarding it up like they should be. It goes into a dangerous place. It's fine. You know that people go down there.
On it, make some money.
Right?
You do see a couple people toss chicken bones into it. Like, they finish their chicken bones and they just throw it into the portal.
What a waste of perfectly good chicken bones.
But yeah, you've got your 4 bowls of chowder. Dragon just offered Chessmay one.
Yep. Frond
Yes.
is also like pushing hers over like nearish, but when she sees Dragon pushes his over, she like kind of pulls hers back.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, sorry. That brings me back to the question: what's our seating like? Are we at a small table,
you're at
large
you're at
table,
like
or-
essentially a picnic table. So
A picnic
like a
table. Okay,
like a
yeah.
6-8 footish table, plenty of
okay.
room for
Okay.
4 or 6 people
Yeah.
to sit at.
So Dragon basically like scoots over, is like, yeah, and like takes like a small bowl and like hands it over. It's like, come sit.
Yes, I shall.
What is your name?
Chesme Esriel. I'm here looking for everything. What can you point me to, especially your friend? Please
Oh.
tell me.
Well, I can point you to everything. And my friend here is named Frond.
Me?
What amazing. Frond, I've never seen anyone like you before. I mean, you turned around, I was just smitten. Please tell me about yourself. Where are you from? What is this your land?
No, I'm from I'm from. I was my clan. Chambold Forest.
Wow.
I'm Ghostwise.
What's the terrain like there?
Forested, wet, bogs, rivers, trees, tree ants, satyrs, shambling mounds.
Ooh.
So while
Forest.
Frond is listing the entire biosphere of their homeland to Chessmay, which probably suits Dragon just fine because less talking for him. Chessmay is learning quite a detailed amount from it. Shujaa, you
Basically, Dragon's glad that someone else is receiving this now.
you walk in to this place again. You can hear multiple people like stringing up instruments. The closest one to you is kind of a lute carrying bard, super basic. And then you see a few people sitting at the bar and a few others a few others kind of scattered about. It looks like a normal lunch crowd, but this is indeed the largest tavern you have ever goddamn seen. It's the size of a damn castle. But one tavern. And of course, as always, the thing that gave it its name. The portal in there. And now I will transition. Now that Shujaa's in the room, you're not necessarily exactly where you're going to be, but we will.
You can't avoid us for much longer.
Yeah. Let's move to this.
Yeah.
Let's move off
Panicking
the
on
doodle.
the name of the
Your home.
Ghostwise halfling. Yeah, it's the fucking Chandlewood.
Oh, Chandel.
Chandlewood, yeah.
Yeah. And so this is essentially what you all kind of see in the immediate area.
Sorry. Okay, there. Sorry, I was
there's
just
definitely
seeing
more
the,
tavern.
Our drawings for a second there.
Oh yeah. I like how I spent as little time as possible on that part.
As little time as I could.
There weren't even any dicks.
Right?
None.
Let the people appreciate our art. See, by altering it, we've made it fair use to use that image.
Yeah, sure. And then we'll take Shujaa.
We're transforming
Put
it
him
with
over
our
there.
friendship.
There we go.
The power of friendship.
So, Shujaa, you have entered in. The entryway is down there in the bottom left corner. bottom left corner that you walked in. There's not a door there on the map, but I don't care. And you've entered in. Bar on your left-hand side, Yawning Portal on the right. You see a couple immediate vicinity. You see waitress distributing drinks. You see a couple different Dragonborn and what looks like a homeless little child that has been beaten with the ugly stick a couple times. Hanging out with them, eating some sort of gray Malaise gravy bowl. It's unclear. It just looks all the same. It's very beige. It's very beige. And
bowls of beige lumps.
and you can hear other musicians turning up, and then of course the barkeep at the bar, rubbing the one spot on the bar that he's doing, and in the back, toward the back, the arm wrestling, and then other people just having conversations. What does Shujaa do first, casing out the Yawning Portal?
So I take a look around, like, man, there's a good energy here. This is interesting, but I don't know what this giant hole in the floor is. That's
you go to the giant hole.
I kind of walk up to the giant hole because I'm fascinated by the fact that there are multiple tables of people drinking near this hole, and in my head, I'm wondering, because you wonder in other places besides your head, why, like, so I'm looking at it, I'm like, nobody gets drunk and falls into this. So,
do you verbalize that?
I look up and I realize that the table I'm standing right next to is looking at me funny, so I must have been thinking out loud. It's like,
Bonnie, the waitress, walks by and it's like, oh, people get drunk and fall into that all the time. Like, that's part of the allure. But you gotta feed the monsters somehow. Otherwise, they're liable to try and come back up here. So you are 100% correct. This makes no sense in a civilized city. I don't know how it possibly could be written in here, but it is.
The liability insurance must be insane.
Oh, look at that. And over by the winch that lowers people into it, you just see two guys with like Caesar haircuts from the late 90s, early 2000s, too, just like and it's like, what's up, Luke? I don't know, Duke. We should get down in that portal. We need some treasure. Our gambling debts have gotten out of hand because we weren't raised knowing about consequences. Okay. And someone want to lower us down, and some like older guys just like, sure, just starts cranking the wheel, and those people get lowered down. Everyone in the tavern watches this, and you literally see someone in a corner just with fingers counting down eventually from 10, just counting the seconds down as they approach 3, 2, 1. You just hear the most horrifying scream come out, and then a second scream to match it, and and then some sort of like very distant crinkling noises, which up close might be more crunching noises. And then Bonnie, the waitress, is just like, yep, falling drunk or just be an asshole. Either way, it keeps them down there. And then just walks by. It's like, you need anything? Pointing at Shujaa.
I take a quick step back, like, no, that's not for me. And I say, yo. And then I collect myself, understanding that the world is a cruel place. And I say, so this is what happens when some dickhead harasses you, huh?
She looks at you and it's like, well, yeah, sometimes I just push him over, but yeah, 100%. That's absolutely, like, you do not want to fuck with the staff of the Yawning Portal. There's a giant monster pit over there. Like, who would, oof, like, absolutely, absolutely foolish. Would you like one of our mayonnaise-filled French breads?
I will pass on that, Miss Bonnie, but
It's like
I will remember to stay on your good side. Do you carry any Elverquist by any chance?
Elderquists. Hold on. Let me tune out here for a moment. What the fuck is Elderquist? I have no idea what you're asking for.
Elderquist, it's this elven. It's basically an elven whiskey.
Oh, whiskey. All right, let me tune back in. All right, you know what? I was just spacing out a little bit. I was thinking about we normally surf mostly like PBRs and natty ices, but yeah, we got some Elderquist. Absolutely. This is all happening literally like Dragon, Chesme, and Frond. You're sitting at a table. This person is backed up into the corner of your table and is having this conversation, kind of completing the corner there.
Grasses, mosses, stones, bigger stones, smaller stones, pebbles.
I'm just gonna let Camille go until the end of the stream. This is a solid. I hope you're all ready for an hour and 10 minutes of plant life.
Is any of that look like that? What's the diameter of that well over there? Do you think I can? It's really, I like devoid spaces. I like it subterranean too.
Chesme, calm down. I like it.
Dragon has finished eating, and he's just kind of sitting back and just enjoying goings on around him.
I will say, Chesme, you notice Shujaa as an Eladrin elf, extremely uncommon. It's not that there aren't, different elves of different like skin tones sort of naturally, high elves, wood elves and such. But very rarely do you get kind of like a dark-haired, very dark-skinned elf. And certainly one of the things you notice is that those ears are taller and more vertical than your average sort of like elf ear. Your average elf ear goes into a point that ends relatively close to the ear. Shujaa's are a little bit taller, almost. If they had another inch or two on them, they'd go above his head.
Oh, that is something I've never seen before.
Yep.
I'm really amazed. I'm so excited. Is this, I don't even know if this is taboo. Maybe not. Is there more?
Is there more? Shujaa, as a person talking about going subterranean, enjoying the void, is like staring at you, or at least looking at you. Maybe not like gawking, but like observing you.
Frond is staring.
Frond is staring. That little creepy child that absolutely needs a bath and like some corrective surgery. One of the two pair of Dragonborn at the table that you happen to be kind of backed up against, looking over at you as they eat their beige food.
Yeah, so I look at Chesme and I kind of just take a little bit of gander, and then I look back at Bonnie and I say, Bonnie, if you can't find the Elderquist, I'll take some Dragon's Breath. It's just a pretty common brandy-like liquor that I feel like everybody has over here. Look, and actually, what if I let me get 4 shots of Dragon's Breath for this table, and if everybody doesn't want one, that just means there's 2 for me.
Bonnie calls over from the bar. Thank you. I was just gonna make something up that I thought might taste like Elderquist. We definitely do have Dragon's Breath. You are 100% correct. Anything that tastes like cinnamon is all good here. We put cinnamon on everything, like broccoli, asparagus, moss, grass. Now I'm sounding like that weird little halfling. Some more cinnamon.
Cinnamon prawns.
I mean, we have Thursday night cinnamon challenge where everybody tries to just hold a mouthful of cinnamon.
How many people have choked on the cinnamon and then fallen into the Yawning Portal?
You notice a gentle wafting of cinnamon coming from the Yawning Portal. It's too many. So the shots are brought to the table. to the table, and she's like, now see, this is why I like working at the Yawning Portal. Waterdeep is about people coming together, and I am pretty confident that some of y'all did not know each other before this moment, and if there's anything that'll bring you together, it's a nice sharp brandy, and some beige food. You want a pork chowder like the other, son? Looking at Shujaa.
I'll pass on the pork chowder. Thank you, Bonnie. I'm going to step out of character really quick. I'm assuming we actually have money, right? I forgot to look.
You do have money. I will settle up your money at the end of sessions. All of you have enough money to begin with where you can eat here and drink here, and it won't make you broke. Even Frond, who I imagine most of Frond's money is made of wood. But
There's some shiny pebbles too.
I have trinkets.
Step
Frog
back.
has trinkets if you have coin.
Yeah. And so she's like, for the chowders and the booze, that'll just be like, I don't know. That'll just be like maybe 2 silver across the whole table, but we'll settle up when you're ready to leave. Nobody doesn't pay their bills at the Yawning Portal, or else they know what happens. We only have one punishment here, and it's very effective. Honestly, more cities should just have a 40-foot portal to death, just in their buildings.
Dragon is idly wondering in the back of his mind if all big city establishments are this just openly threatening to their customers.
I assume this is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm back in character. I look at the table and I say, "Hi, my name's Shujaa. I'm a traveling musician, and do you mind? I know I kind of backed it to your table, but do you mind if I hang out with y'all for a little bit?"
By all means, sit.
Yes.
And while you're saying that, I look at Bonnie and say, "By the way, are you allowed to take shots?"
I don't. And she looks over at the bartender, who looks and gives her the sternest look, and she goes, "I'm allowed to do what I want to do," and he just shakes his head. Allowed to take shots. He just shakes his head, and there are some other people that are kind of around you that laugh at that. And you actually catch over it. It's like Durnan runs everything in this tavern except for Bonnie and pretty much everyone else he hires. Bonnie just pours a 5th shot with the implication of what Shujaa just said there. And then Bonnie becomes a giant monster creature, and you have to fight her. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god!
I've given you an end portal. Yeah, you all jump into the portal, and this goes right into the Yawning Portal, the Mad Mage, or whatever the fuck it is.
Would anyone like to hear a joke?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, are we back in the? Go ahead, DM. I cut you off.
No, you can just say a joke. Always cut off the DM.
What would you call the type of jump that you'd make into that hole?
What?
I don't know. Maybe you should use your athletics to jump to conclusions.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
All right. I need again, the only dice roller. Actually, no. Everyone's going to roll a dice. Chesme, I need you to roll a performance check. And I need the rest of the party to roll a wisdom save.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds to roll.
13.
Wow. Natural one.
Oof.
Dang.
Oof.
Ooh.
22.
I am rolling with the homies. This is terrible.
What did you get, Chesme?
7.
7. All right. So with a 7, Chessmate cannot save you from how truly dad that joke was. However, with a 13, Frond, you struggle with it, but you're okay. With a 20 plus, Dragon, you're fine. I'm gonna need or Shujaa. Unfortunately, with a natural 1, for the on your next
Psychic.
skill champ. No, you're too low hit points for me to just throw out psychic. If I give
You
psychic
die.
damage, I'm doing
Roll
over
your character.
10% damage to a person. Shujaa, you have disadvantage on your next skill check or saving throw because your mind can't let go of that damn joke. So whatever you're trying to do, you're less good at it because the joke now lives with you. And on the heels of that bad joke, as you're all laughing or groaning or somewhere in between.
Where is conclusions?
Oh no!
Oh my god.
I'm gonna need Camille as a person to take 1 level of exhaustion as a punishment. I'm not even letting you roll for that. You deliberately did that shit. You did that violently at us, and I'm upset at you. While you're sitting around this sturdy wooden table lit by brightly burning candles and littered with plates of cleared food or bowls of cleared beige.
Can we take this shot before you fuck us?
Yeah, and taking your shot. I mean, if we're gonna get into that, taking your shots, beginning like just a little meet cute at a tavern in the middle of Waterdeep. The sounds of yelling from the corner where the half-orc was arm wrestling. The half-orc woman was arm wrestling some pretty shoddily dressed, kind of roughneck looking fellas. Start coming up. A little bit of yelling, a little bit of noise in general, and then you hear the table tip over, and the man stands up and points at the half-orc woman who's still seated, and he's like, "Ya pig, like killing me mates, does ya?" And then he just swings a wild punch at the half-orc while she's still sitting down in her chair.
Jesus.
And
Poseidon.
and she's, yeah, Poseidon. That is your Jesus and your God. Poseidon truly is the Holy Trinity. That's why he has a trident. And suddenly everyone from the table sort of across stands up as this half-orc woman just stands up from her chair and swings another punch. She's got a shaved head on the sides and a bunch of tattoos across the eyes of her face. But she's the only one who stands up on her side. And the 4 other gentlemen sitting at the table just behind the one who threw a punch at her all stand up. And it's looking like it's about to get a little bit hairy. You're all just down in your shots as this begins to occur. Is there I suppose my question to you would be, you see this fight breaking out, what do your characters do?
We push them all into the pit.
They are not near the pit.
My character says, "Would you like to have an orgasm in a hole?"
In a hole. Truly monstrous. Boom.
They told me you could come so far. I don't know. I mean, that's what it was said.
So these 2 are here. These 4 are standing there, and they are absolutely getting into it.
Yeah.
So when someone talks about having an orgasm in a hole, like the gentleman that's sitting at the table over here, which I will get my mouse to, that guy right there, he just dies laughing. He falls out of his chair. A lot of people immediately try and take Chessmay up on the. They're like, "Yeah, I'll have an orgasm in a hole." One very drunk patron looks at the yawning portal and then back up at the growing commotion up toward the top of the bar, and he's like, not worth it. But a lot of people are beginning to kind of gather and begin to watch this fight begin to break out as the other four ruffians kind of join their partner to begin 5-on-1ing this half-orc.
I think Fron probably like kind of pulls on Dragon's cloak, and she's like, "Should we help? It's only one person against 4 other people? 5?"
Yep.
Dragon kind of sighs because he had no interest in getting involved, but she is right, and he knows it. So he's like, "Yeah, I suppose we should."
I look at Frond and I look at Dragon and I say, "My name is Bennett."
Bennett?
Bennett?
And I would prefer to not be involved.
That's
But
You literally don't have to. I have something in the module. If you don't want to be involved, I have a thing that addresses that in the module. D&D modules are very aware that some party members are just like, fuck it, and then just move on from a thing.
I'm gonna go with what the group goes with in this scenario.
So Frond and Dragon are beginning, I suppose, to get up.
Yeah.
What about you, Chessmay?
I'm getting up for sure.
Chessman is like, I gotta see what goes down here. This is a story right here.
Yeah, that's what I came for.
Yeah. So Dragon's gonna basically lead the way, and he's gonna start out holding his hands up and just like trying to project like some sort of power or like whatever, just trying to be like, hold up. What is all this? You do not need to gang up on this lone person. There's no cause just enough to justify such uneven confrontation.
Are you trying to persuade or threaten?
Persuade.
Roll persuasion.
I'm basically trying to appeal to decency. Whoops. Rolled in the wrong thing. Here we go. That's plus... I have a +4, so 1d20 +4.
Frond is probably like kind of vaguely aping his like arms, like, stop.
Yeah.
I rolled an 11.
Oh.
11.
So not too persuasive.
One of them just like turns to you and does that thing that some people do in movies that I've never seen in real life, of just like giving you like a sneering face and kind of grabbing his junk at you, and then just like goes back into the fight, just like fuck off, and then back into the fight. And so they are beginning to kind of surround this person. I keep going to the wrong damn window. This half orc. They are beginning to surround her, and they're fairly close, but they're not attacking any of you directly. They're all ganging up on this person. One of them hopped up onto a table, and so they're kind of fully moving to surround. They are not heeding your call, Dragon. They're not heeding a call for calmness.
All right. Well, Dragon sighs and pulls out his anchor.
Everyone sees Dragon pull out an anchor. I'm just noting that's it's like I guess it's time to drop anchor. I don't fucking know. Dragon isn't like menacing anyone with it, but he does tap it against his palm. So a little bit out of character, just because this is if Dragon's gonna get involved in the fight, is Frond gonna get involved in the fight?
Yep.
Is Chessame gonna get involved with the fight?
I have to. I mean, how
simply
can
must. Simply must.
What is a pyromancer and a dragon going to do without a halfway.
That-
You gotta get on.
Yeah, and then is Shujaa going to get involved in the fight? Because you don't have to, just because the rest of the party is. I do milestone leveling, so it's not like I need to. It's not like you don't get the XP if you don't kill things. Everything's milestone leveling.
And
So
honestly, go ahead.
So during everyone's deliberation, Shujaa has pulled out his trombone, secretly hidden in his cloak, and I'm still terrible. Sorry.
Amazing. You could just serenade the fight.
Is the squeaking noise the noise it's supposed to make?
You heard squeaking?
Little.
That was I need to lubricate my slide.
Oh, I heard that about you.
Truly children, all of you. All right. So to clarify for me, now that we're into it. I would like everybody that is going to fight to roll initiative, please.
Alrighty.
Oh, Jesus.
First fight.
Sorry,
Oh,
Poseidon.
what's the
Oh, hell yeah, Bardic Inspiration. Thank you,
Oh,
Pope
there we
Peaches,
go.
for the biddlies.
What was that, Desh?
Sorry, I was just so you click on the number next to it to add your bonus,
Yeah,
modifier?
yeah. So if you're rolling initiative and you roll at the initiative number, then it automatically applies your bonuses and everything to that.
Gotcha.
Or at least it should.
Hold on. What? Hold on. What?
No, it's one D40 plus 4.
You're going to have to. You're going to.
Hold on. What happened?
So instead of rolling, it's not a bonus. It's the number of dice. If you do it through the mouse menu, what you can do is roll like /R 1d20 plus 4.
You can also roll it off your character sheet on DnDBeyond as well.
I just wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
be part
that
of the
too.
fun.
Yeah, if you just click your +4 on DnDBeyond, I think it will, if you got Roll20 up, actually populate the roll in Roll20. It may not. It may. It just depends.
Okay. I just clicked it.
I had to get in the fun too. I just wanted to see. Okay.
Okay,
I
so
got a natural for that.
all right, so I'm gonna ask for the initiatives in order. That was amazing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, you know what? So it's an 18.
18. 18 for Shujaa. We got there. First session with Roll20 with DnDBeyond with all of it going on. I don't have enough monitors to really see what's happening with the party, so you just laugh and react, and that's good. The Twitch can see. That's always fine. Frond, what did you get?
15.
Dragon?
I got to scroll up now. Nope. 22.
Earlier you got like 369s when you rolled those 420.
Yeah.
And then Chessmate, what did you get?
25.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. What?
Well, +5.
Sure, not 20.
You rolled not 20 plus 5. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, 20
that's
plus 5.
Nice.
That does mean okay. So
Best.
We're
yeah.
using all of our good rolls now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Chessmate, you see what you see in front of you on the DnDBeyond map. They are all surrounding you. I am not going to because I was just moving people around and such. So if you want to back up, yeah, you're not going to take like an attack of opportunity or anything like that. I just sort of put your tokens there. But they are all surrounding this half-orc. There are 5 bandits. One that was the one who threw the initial punch seems to be really involved with her. She's begun pushing them off, but she seems to be mostly engaged with the guy that she beat in arm wrestling and everything. And then the other 4, they're like trying to grab at her arms and such, but they're not like super successful at like pinning her down or anything yet. Because she's like 7 feet tall. She's a solid foot taller than the next tallest person. So she's got reach on them. She's much stronger, but there's too many of them for her to deal with for too long.
So I've got one hand on the amulet right now. And I'm basically saying, keep piling on those ranks. Make sure you chew the bard's leg before you try mine.
Do you take like a movement action? Do you do a regular action, bonus action, anything like that? Because you are first in the initiative.
I take a movement action. I think at this point, I'm ready. Yes.
All right. Where do you move to? And you can actually grab your token on the Roll20 map and just click it and drag it to where you move to. 30 feet is about roughly 6 squares in any direction. Don't jump into the portal.
We all jump into the portal.
I don't know. You've really been selling me on this idea of jumping into the portal.
It's very attractive.
Like, oh. Where can I go anywhere?
You can go anywhere within about 6 squares of where you're at.
So I want to move a little farther away from the fight, but not too far.
Yeah, that's fine. And then it'll just kind of lock you into a square space, and you'll be fine. And so yeah, that's perfectly fine. Do you want to take a regular action or a bonus action, or are you good holding off and kind of waiting to see how it goes?
I'm good holding off.
All right, after Chessmate. Dragon, you watch Chessmate just be like, this is awesome, and then just get a better view, but that's it. Maybe they're standing on a table now. Dragon, it's your go next.
All right, Dragon is going to reach out and touch this guy here, the one closest to him.
Yep.
And cast Inflict Wounds.
Ooh, what does Inflict Wounds do, Dragon?
Inflict Wounds is a melee spell attack against a creature you can reach. On a hit, the target takes 3d10 necrotic damage. So it is, what's the versus, I think it's just, it says touch, duration instantaneous.
What's this hit DC?
It doesn't say.
I'm going to go double check. Inflict wounds. Beep. Touch. One action. Touch. Damage. Melee spell attack. So you roll your melee spell attack.
Oh, melee. Okay. It's basically a melee attack then.
Yeah, wisdom. Well, no, it's a wisdom attack.
Oh, wisdom attack. Okay, so 1d20 plus wisdom.
Yep.
This is why I never played spellcasters.
Yup.
Oh, man. All right,
you get a plus
11.
6 to your roll.
Okay.
Did you roll that with that or
that was with that?
Yeah, it was an 11.
Yep, 11.
11.
So I missed the touch.
You missed the touch.
You just fucking swipe.
He just you go to touch him. It's real weird and gentle. You're hesitant.
And I'm just like, be embraced. I do it confidently, but I'm doing it like I'm a priest laying on hands. Like be embraced by the deep, and then I whiff.
And then he steps away before the actual spell goes off.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
All right. First two in the initiative have done 0 damage. Excellent. Good work, team. Off to a strong start. I love this. Now we get to the bandits' turns. And they are, well... All right, so you tried to mess with one of them. So they're going to come... A couple of them are going to peel off the dragon here. And peel off the dragon. But the other two are going to hang out with their boss, like their leader that's in the fight here. And they're gonna hit you. They're gonna hit you with weapons.
Weapons?
I'm so good at this.
Sign up for weapons.
I don't know if you know how good I am at hitting you with weapons. So they brandish their swords, and two of them swing at dragon. I don't know if this goes up in there. This first one deeply misses. I don't know if that's populating over to
we're just
to
fucking swiping
DnDBeyond
each other.
to Roll20.
Yeah.
And then the second one does hit. Dragon, dodging the first one, you just get clipped on the side of the arm by the second one. And he cuts into the arm for a solid 3 damage on it. Ooh. And he just smiles and smiles, and then he pulls the sword back, and then he holds his arms out, and he's like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? You trying to like give my buddy a back massage? I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. What are you gonna do now?" The other two do not involve themselves at the moment with y'all because they are busy helping out their bro pick on this half-orc person. So now it's Shujaa's turn.
He left.
What?
Oh.
Did we lose
Shujaa.
somebody?
Oh no, we lost.
So now it's Fran's turn.
Went to go take a shit.
That's okay.
He had to pee. All that food, he had to pee.
Oh, that's good.
I am gonna cast
Booty pee.
Entangle. Back.
Don't say booty pee. I heard booty pee. I'm not letting that go. Don't say it. Okay, casting Entangle, Front. I was paying attention
Oh
to
no,
you.
I was gonna cast booty pee. Did it sound like Entangle? Because I meant to say booty pee.
No, booty pee. I'm gonna have to tag this better next time as a stream.
How's the booty pee?
Wait, is it my turn?
We moved on to Front, but we got distracted with booty pee. So instead, we'll do you now, Shujaa. It's your turn.
I'd have enough time to get more water and pee my butt. Speaking of booty pee, pee out of my butt. Yo, actually,
don't work it into the campaign.
Yo, so I look at the party, and I'm not taking this super seriously. I'm like, look at this bunch of idiots about to fight. I'm about to throw hands with a bunch of idiots. Hopefully, we don't kill anybody, but if he dies, he dies. But real quick though, I actually saw a homeless person catcall a woman by saying, "Hey, girl, let me pee in that butt." I actually said that.
Suja having a memory of looking at a homeless person. This is diegetic, not real life. This is happening in the game. Suja thinks about that time. He's like, sometimes life is ridiculous, and then cuts to a scene of a homeless person telling a woman. all of this happens in campaign.
This happened just 10 minutes ago. This was in Waterdeep.
This is in Waterdeep. That's what Waterdeep means, is peeing in butts. The level of discourse in this campaign is so strong.
It's not a Dine of Exposure stream or podcast or anything unless there's some peeps and poops jokes.
Yeah,
that's just
true.
how it is.
There are peeps and poops jokes across all of Dying Exposure's tabletop.
It's on brand.
All right, Shujaa, it is your turn.
Of course, I had to educate that person the way we finna educate these. Anyway, I reserve myself, and I think about my arcane training because I'm rusty on it, so I have to think about it deeply to be able to have any success doing it.
Yep.
And it still might not work. So I am going to attempt a cantrip. I will use. Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh no! I'm actually going to use Jim's magic missile.
Ooh, you know what's good about that? You don't gotta roll to hit. It just does. Truly a strong spell. All right, so magic missile. I think at level 1, do you get 2 or 3 of them?
It's a 2d4. Before I do that, I'm going to take a few steps back away from the people.
Yeah, the fighting.
Yeah. And I'm going to cast it on these people. Can y'all see this?
We can. If you click and hold over one of them, I think you might be able to do it. Like you just left click and hold on them.
Oh. What?
Oh, those people. What? All right, you're trying to hit the back 3, is what you're saying.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Well, one of the back 2. You only have 2 missiles. Each individual missile does 1d4, and you have to just pick the target in range. And so you can do 2 of them on 1 or 1 of them on 2, but they don't have an area of effect.
Okay, if that's the case, then I'm gonna hit the 2 that are attacking Chesme or flanking Chesme instead.
Nice.
Let me. I think I can get rid of that. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this X real quick.
My bad.
You're like, all right. So Chesme's back here. Are you talking about the half-orc woman here?
Is that the orc? Whoever's green that has these 2 people around them? Oh, you can't see.
Oh no, that's not Chesme. That's not Chesme. That's Dragon. But yeah, they're flanking one of the people you just met and had a drink with. Chesme's red, Dragon is blue, but it looks like black on the token.
Okay, cool.
But nonetheless, all right, so you just 1 to each. All right, give me a d4 for each one, and I'll do the damage.
Okay, let me try to do this the right way.
See if it happens. Simply love a magic missile. Just being like, we're not fucking around with rolls anymore. We're just gonna hit something. It's not a lot of damage, but it gets it done.
So that's the first one. It's 9 total.
9 total?
Yeah,
Hold on. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just confused because as far as I understand, it just does it's just 2d4. So each die is a 1d4. That's the maximum damage.
Oh, it doesn't include the spell attack modifier?
Nope.
Okay, so then it's 3.
Okay, it's 3.
My bad.
That's fine.
Okay. Well then.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad for something that just definitely hits every time you cast it. If you want to make an adjustment and just hit the same person twice so you can do a little bit more damage to one person, that's fine.
I'll save it. I don't know. No, I don't.
Okay, and then so that was 3 on the 1. You have to roll a second d4 for it. Every magic missile is its own d4 roll.
Okay.
You unfortunately for my sake you have to verbalize your rolls because I'm not looking at the chat side of Roll20. I don't have room for it.
It's a d4, but I rolled a 1.
1 damage. All right. So the missiles come and they just kind of hit their bandits in the head like hot rocks. Like they're just like fuck. It's not pleasant. Like imagine yourself as a full human being having a roughly 11 hit points. Now imagine that those 11 hit points that you have as a full human being, which I know you can't see that, but I'm letting you know they have 11 hit points each. Imagine if almost 10% of your life force was taken away, or in one person's case, almost 30%. It would suck. That day would suck, even if it doesn't seem that impressive. So they're not happy that they just got hit in the head with hot rocks. Anything else on your turn? I don't think you have any bonus actions or anything yet as a level 1 person.
I don't believe so.
Now we get to Frond.
Alright. I would like to cast Entangle in such a way that it gets those back to bandits, but not anyone else. I should be able to position it and probably be like back in the...
Are you talking about these two right here?
Yes. Yes, those two.
The 2 far back ones? All right. So with Entangle, what do I roll? I roll some sort of save?
It is a Strength 14.
Strength 14.
Yep.
Well, heck. Okay, let's do this one. That one saves. The first bandit manages. He was distracted by Frond the whole time. And so he quickly
I
gets
have
out of
that
it.
effect on people.
That is 2 16s in a row. I am sorry. Both of them step out of the entangled vines. They're like, the creepy one's doing stuff.
They're still there, by the way, as long as I'm maintaining concentration. So they're still there when it happens again, or someone else walks into it.
So they literally got to get themselves out of that way.
Yes.
Okay. So the entangling vines. They're like, why are there vines here? And the bartender Durin is just sitting there, being like, I should really just retain a staff member. And then the fight and we're back to the top of the order. Chessmay, we're back to you. Chessmay, you have watched a lot of misses, and Shujaa threw a couple hot rocks at some people. You recognize it as a caster. Every caster recognizes magic miss. You've now learned that the Eladrin is definitely got some sort of magically aligned person, which isn't surprising. What does Chessmay do in this situation?
Did we lose?
Oh, they are away.
Uh-oh.
This is what happens when I'm not
Now
looking at the
it's
stream.
Chessmay's
Hold
turn
on.
to make the
Hold
booty.
on.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Okay, back
I'm
from
back.
a fresh booty pee. It is Chessmay's turn.
I mean, what else could you possibly be?
But yeah, you watched a lot of people miss and not quite hit each other. You watched them take a good strike into Dragon, and you got to see Shujaa cast Magic Missile on a couple of them, which revealed some things about it. You also saw Frond cast Entangling Vines. You might not know the spell exactly, but you saw the magic happen. And so it seems like this party, whether successful or failing, all of them have the ability to manipulate the arcane, which is something that is not super common in a party of D&D players where you need things like fighters and rogues. But our party is fun and is all all casters. So there you go. So Chessmate, it's your turn. You've seen a bit of the fight. The 3 bandits are clearly still on the half orc. She looks like she's handling herself, but she's definitely struggling with the 3-on-1 still. And then 2 of them are on Dragon, and one of them has drawn blood already on him.
Oh, I think I'm gonna have to cast a lightning lure.
Lightning lure. All right,
yes.
which one are you casting it on?
The one, so there's one that looks like it's causing the most damage here, right next to Frond.
Yeah, like this. Oh, I'm in the wrong window. That's my bad.
Yeah, the one kitty corner to me.
This one right here. Or
yes.
yeah. Okay, so that one. Okay,
yes.
Get that one because it is in striking distance of Frond as well, who has just taught you so much about their homeland. And so okay, lightning lure. On that one, I think I can't remember if it's a spell attack or if it's a.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. You create a lash, lightning. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pulled 10 feet in a straight line toward you, and I'm good with you manipulating where the 10 feet goes. I don't need it to be toward you. I think it's more fun if you can move them around. And it takes 1d8 of lightning damage if I fail the save. And your saving throw is a 14, it looks like. I got your character sheets all in front of me just to do that. So, all right, Bandit. Roll your save, buddy. Strength saving throw. Do it. If this is another 16. All right, we're not doing that. That's another 16 that it rolled. I don't trust that anymore. So I'm going to go to the Google Dice Roller because I've rolled 3 16s exactly in a row. Dice Roller. Statistically, that is extremely unlikely. I'm going to go to a different dice roller. There we go. That's the Google Dice Roller that I know and love. That's a natural 1. Roll 1d8 damage and tell me what 10 feet you move this person to.
Well, I'm moving. Okay, so wait. I don't know why I can't select them, but I'm moving them north of said hole 10 feet. So looks like there's a 5-foot square that I'm. Can you see me?
I can't see your arrow or anything like that.
Okay.
I've got them, and so give me just a moment. I'm gonna move them. Generally, you won't be able to move NPCs. Oh, there's your box. There's a box right there. But yeah, so this guy right here, right? This was the one you hit.
Send him
where you
10 feet north.
Up 1, 2.
Up.
That would put him here.
To that square.
Okay. Yeah, so he is now no longer in striking distance of either Frond or Dragon. Rather, he cannot harm them. And you've successfully cast your spell, your Lightning Lure spell. Cantrips don't need to be burn slots. I'm a burn one of
1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm just drawing where my.
Ignore that dice roll. Go on.
Trying to draw. Okay, 5.
Oh, where you're thinking? I think you got it. Roughly, it's is it 20 by 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's roughly 20 by 20.
Yeah. It's important because they're gonna have to make more
now.
saves,
Yeah, now they have to make a string save. You just put another person into the string save, into the entangled binds. Do you move anywhere, Chessmate? You do anything else this turn?
I think I'm gonna stay put where I have the best vantage viewpoint.
The rest of the tavern at this point is just sort of watching this and being like, "This is bonkers, guys."
Oh yeah, this is the weird thing, not the death pit.
Not the death pit.
Okay.
We are now on Dragon. Dragon, it is your turn.
Dragon is going to try and lay hands again. So let's see.
Father God, I
Roll
come to you
Oh,
in the name.
Lay the mage hand on us.
That's a 25.
that'll definitely hit their AC. I will tell you that.
And then 3d10.
I loose this devil.
8 hit points of damage.
What is this? Inflict wounds?
Yeah, inflict wounds. So basically, he puts a hand on his shoulder while he's distracted. And he's like, "Feel the embrace of the deep."
All right, Dragon. That is.
You say it again, even though last time you said it and missed.
Yeah, he has to say it every time.
You said you did. You said you did 8 points of damage. Yes.
Yep, 8 points.
Dragon, what does it look when this person feels the deep into the afterlife? Unless you're doing non-lethal damage.
Basically, I guess modeling and bruising and stuff starts spreading across the skin, and maybe in places where the bruising is real severe, some wounds open up.
Ooh.
And he starts bleeding.
He dead.
Starts looking a little bit wait, is he dead?
Well, he's dead or knocked out. It's your
It
turn.
depends on whether you're doing lethal damage or not.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
not
choose
trying
do
to kill.
non-lethal.
I'm definitely trying to bring them to the point of I'm trying to knock them out for sure.
Well, he's asleep.
He's asleep. He's gone.
Unconscious, bleeding a little bit.
He gets knocked out. You recognize that you put a bit of damage into him, but he was certainly softened up by one of the hot rocks from earlier. Absolutely gone. So next combat, I just had to make sure, and I was like, yeah, that was the first one that I did damage to with the 3, and 3 plus 8 is 11. So you're making a little bit of progress now. On this. The 3 bandits have to go, and they all have to roll strength saves, correct? Or else they're entangled because they start their turn there.
Yes. And if I'm wrong, nobody tell him.
What's your strength save DC?
It's 14.
14. All right. Only one of them makes it out. Strangely enough, the guy that was pushed back manages to make the strength save. The other 2 are entangled. Entangled means that they just can't act. Is it that they can't move? They're restrained, so they can't take an attack action.
Correct.
Wait. Yeah, restrained. Restrained is no attack action.
Restrained is, God, I don't know.
Let me double check.
Okay, so restrained. Creature's speed becomes 0. Can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Oh, and they have a
the creature's
disadvantage.
attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity.
Okay, so they can still attack, but they can't move. So they can only attack what they can get at.
And
they can use their actions to make a strength check against my spell save DC to free themselves.
Okay. So this one is angry that you knocked out his buddy. So while standing on the laying unconscious body of his buddy, he comes to attack Dragon. Again, the other two literally try to get themselves out for their action. I'm gonna re-roll the strength saves. 1, 2. That is a 7 and a 10. That's not gonna do it. They're just stuck there, and they wasted their turns. So I'm just gonna do the one attack against Dragon again. Because I like picking on Aaron. That is a solid 10. I don't think that hits your AC.
That does not hit
so
my
they
AC.
miss. And level 1 battles live up to every bit of the expectation of just mostly little bits and pieces of damage, and then a miss here. Miss here. That is their turn. On the second round here, funnily enough, so with those two restrained and distracted, the bandit kind of captain and the half orc have been absolutely let's just make them constantly pulse.
Good. Thanks, Roll20. Very good.
Thank you, Roll20. Thank you so much. The bandit captain and the half orc have been kind of throwing blows at each other, and the bandit captain goes down. So
Nice.
the bandit captain gets knocked out, but the half orc is not Dragon, and so the bandit captain gets knocked out, and the half orc starts walking them. Not going to happen on this turn. Toward the edge of that yawning portal. She ain't fucking around. So she's walking them to the edge there. They're not down yet. Oop, that's a little. There we go. They're not tossed yet, but you have a feeling she's about to do something. And the restrained other bandits are like, "Buck, Shujaa, it's your turn again."
So I am going to move. Does it cost anything to talk?
Nope. Talking is free action.
Okay, so I'm gonna move here. Move about right here.
Right.
It's 3. Each square is 5 feet or so, right?
Yeah.
So, so this would be 5 feet. Oh, the half orc would be 5 feet.
Yeah, half orc is now 5 feet away from you, from where you currently are. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I look over at. Well, hold on, let me check my character sheet real quick. Where is this thing? What? Oh, yeah. So I look over at the party and say, somebody who's good at convincing people of things should try to convince this half orc to not kill this guy. I'm just saying.
I'm great at talking to people.
You should give it a try. I mean, worst that happens is,
I will allow the group as part of that free action. So whoever wants to be the one to roll it has to be the one that talks. But only one person gets to do it. But we can step out of the turn order.
This doesn't end my turn, by the way.
No, it doesn't. I'm just letting this resolve in the moment.
There is a thing I wanted to do, which is I was going to use for my turn to use Thorn Whip on him and pull him back out of her arms. Basically, was my plan.
Okay.
All right. Which is fine. And so maybe Fran just says, "I got it," and then it's like, okay, then obviously the really creepy one is totally gonna do this. Apparently.
Yeah. I have a +4, so I could try to. I have a +4 persuasion. If anyone has anything better, I could give it a try.
I definitely don't. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you and
I'm the backup.
I don't think I'm the guy either.
Yeah, you've I think got the highest charisma.
You're the face
in the group.
I'm the face. Amazing.
No. Technically, you and Chess may have the same charisma, but you have proficiency in persuasion, and Chesme doesn't. And so,
okay.
so that's why. So when it comes to persuading people, it's fucking dragon.
Yeah.
So I rolled 12 total.
Uh,
I don't think I.
she looks back at you. It's like, I appreciate your efforts, but I'ma toss this guy in. He's a fuckhead. And everything. Shujaa, let's continue your turn.
Okay, so I am going to use Thunder Wave.
Woo! Just
Yes.
make use of them spells.
Yeah.
Might as well. You
I
know,
figure we're going to be able to sleep before you throw something at us.
hopefully.
Yes, that's how D&D modules work. Sure. I'm not in charge of how the encounters come in this. That's the D. I mean, yeah, I'm a DM and I could just make it different if I wanted to. But wizards will like come to my home and yell at me if I do it wrong. All right, Thunderwave.
Real wizards, not the company.
Not the company.
What? My screen is really tripping right now. Bro.
No worries. Okay, it's Thunderwave. Thunder is 15-foot cube. Originating from you, must make a Constitution save. You'd probably want to. Where are you? Who are you looking to hit with this?
I'm looking to hit the entangled bandits, but
Okay.
would this also affect our half-orc person and make that?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to fix your positioning because you didn't use all of your movement, so that it doesn't do that unless you're cool with it doing that.
No, I'd rather not do that, you know?
So you just you just get on top of this table and walk to the other side of it next to Dragon, and we'll just say that, next to Dragon, and we'll just say that you get like right up on him, but then I'm gonna let you move away. They can't take a reaction to you, so you move away to Thunder. You get up on him to Thunderwave him, and then you move away. And just because I like the flavor of this, I feel like Thunderwave, even though it's supposed to be a Constitution save, is a Dex save, which means I'm gonna roll with disadvantage. Because if you can't move, it's gonna hit you. I don't understand why it's not a psionic ability. It's a thunder attack. It's going to hit you. So I'm gonna roll with disadvantage for both of them. Well, that one I don't even have to. They've both failed already. I didn't have to roll with disadvantage. I rolled a 5 and a 9 because Google Dice Roller is much kinder to them than DnDBeyond. Much kinder to the party. So roll that damage on Thunderwave. That's decent ass damage, isn't it? 2d8.
Yeah. So 5 and 3, so 8.
5 and 3, so 8 damage on Thunderwave. Ooh. Not get any of your thing. I thought I'm gonna do something. Ignore it in the roller if it shows up. Yeah, it's just 5 and 3 is 8. Yep. Okay. All right, roller. 8 damage to both of them. They're looking pretty fucking hurt now. They're not loving life. This isn't what they signed up for.
This is not my beautiful wife.
This
is not my beautiful yawning portal.
Why did I join the Talking Heads bandit crew? Shujaa, that's you. Frond, it's your turn next.
So I'm gonna cast a Thorn Whip as I mentioned earlier.
Thorn Whip. He is unconscious, which means
that's gotta make it easier for me.
So I'm gonna throw you advantage on this.
Dope. Let me roll 2d.
Because I think it's alright.
Okay, nice. So 23 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit him. And so what does Thorn Whip do?
It does. So it not only does 1d6 piercing damage, but it also pulls the creature up to 10 feet closer to you.
All
so
right.
I'm trying to yank him away from the edge of the portal.
Are you yanking him? I assume you're yanking him kind of diagonally.
Yes.
So you yank him to this guy who's just been watching from a table extremely close by. And and it's just this big blonde, like Irish Viking looking dude, real ruddy face, big smile and everything like that. And And you yank him down there. I'm not going to make you roll damage. It's non-lethal. The bandit is still unconscious, and you definitely, with the 23, pull him out of the half-orc's grip.
And I think when she does that, she says, like, "Stop it! Life and death are both precious."
And this gentleman here that's sitting at this table, he just looks down, smiles, and is like, "Yeah." And then starts searching the guy's pockets to see if he has any money on him.
I look back at the blonde guy and I'm like, yo, if you get any money, get me a shot. Cool. I'll play you something cool if you do.
I'll give you the money anyway. I just like robbing people sometimes. I like the process. I don't care about the money, but I'll take that shot. And
robbing for the money.
Sorry, I forgot. This guy actually has a voice. I forgot. I'll give you money sooner. Don't worry about it. I just like the process. This guy's an asshole. So that's handled. Do you move at all, Frond, or anything like that?
No.
Boop, 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 boop. Captain is unconscious. We are back to the top to Chessme. A couple bandits toward the back are looking pretty roughed up. They're still struggling in those entangled vines. They moved within them, but not far enough to move out of them. So they're still stuck there. And the person right in front of Dragon, the bandit there, is looking pretty rough. And the blonde gentleman is happily going through the pockets of the bandit captain.
I think I'm gonna have to cast. I think I'm gonna have to cast a nice. Let's see, maybe I'll throw a firebolt. I can see. I have no like protection. So where I'm at, I need to stay.
Yes, you do. For anyone watching and the other players, Chessme's AC is 9. So, right now, Chessme needs to never get close to any danger. A 9 AC is technically lower than a commoner's AC. But we will fix that in the nearest future. That's not a mistake. It's just how the character's built. But we'll get that to something where I don't have to worry that if I blow too hard, Chessme's just going to die. Okay, so Firebolt. Which one are you casting Firebolt at?
So I can knock. There's.
So these two you'd actually get advantage on.
I think
the back two.
Either one of them, right? Because if it hits one, it might actually hit the other. Because I can go like 120 feet range on them.
Firebolt is a single target spell, if I recall correctly. Let me confirm. One action. You hurl a mode at a creature or object, make a ranged spell attack, blah blah blah. A flammable object. Yeah. If it hits multiple creatures, it'll say it'll pluralize creatures, or say there's also spells like chain lightning that hop enemies. But this one you can only hit one of them with it.
So one of them will ignite.
So you get advantage. So roll 2d20. I don't know how to do it in the rollers in DnDBeyond.
What? Ooh.
Ooh. 26.
20. Is that a nat 20 again?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Yeah, nat 20.
Nice.
All right, nat 20s are super cool in my worlds. So a normal nat 20, you get some benefit, or you roll to confirm, or you get to roll double your dice. In my world, you just roll your dice like normal, but then you automatically get a version of that with max damage added to it. So in the case of Firebolt, it can do up to 10 damage. So you would automatically add 10 to it and then roll your 1d10. So you'd roll it like normal, but you get that layered on top of it. And so it's basically means that a crit hit, a nat 20, will always do more damage than anything you could possibly roll otherwise. Any other successful hit. So just roll your 1d10 damage. I can guarantee you're going to... Are you looking to kill him, or are you looking to knock him out?
If he dies. You tell.
Wait, I got 4.
Okay, you get 4. Yeah, that's fine. So you get 4 damage on that, and then automatically you add another 10. So it's 14 damage on a nat 20. I can't make Roll20 or DnDBeyond do that. That's a variant homebrew rule that I heard, and I was like, yes. Now, granted, that also happens to you if I roll nat 20s. So know that makes him 14
And
damage.
that's why I snuck into Steve's house. I took all his d20s and I shaved the 20 off.
Yeah, just shaved him. Just shaved him. I just see a blank side, and I'm like, well, this isn't a number, and re-roll it. I asked no questions. Chessmate, is this lethal damage or non-lethal damage?
This is lethal damage.
Yeah. Chessmate's not fucking around. Chessmate's been out and about. This bandit to the right just absolutely burned to the ground, like with a crit with 14 damage, which is more than his hit points are if he was at full health. He just whoosh ash.
That's how you knock out with fire.
And
Poseidon.
Poseidon.
Dragon goes, sure.
Sure. The other bandit just looks panicked as he was right next to that shit, and he's like, I gotta get out of these vines. Fuck. Shit just got super real. Even
And that's
Maloon,
when Bandit knew.
you just see the flames happen, and then the other bandit looks down at the vines, and then up at Chesme, and then the yes baseline comes on, and it says to be continued. You're fucked. So Chesme, you absolutely incinerate him. You can hear an audible laugh from Bonnie in the background, like a ha, as it happens.
Anybody want cinnamon?
Okay, that's Chessmate's turn. Whew,
And catchphrase.
Dragon, is your go. The person in front of you is looking very hurt. The person that is next to a pile of ash of their former brother is looking pretty hurt. What do you do, Dragon?
Dragon looks at the guy who's panicking over the guy who just burnt up next to him and points at him, and then flexes his muscles really hard and casts Toll the Dead. Toll the Dead. You point at one creature you see within range, and the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air for a moment. So basically, right as he flexes, at the peak of his flex, you hear a bell toll.
No.
The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage.
What
Why
is
do
your
you
wisdom
have so
save
much
DC?
necromancy?
What is the wisdom save DC?
The
your
wisdom
character?
save DC.
I can look. I already rolled. It is 14.
Okay.
So 14 damage, or a strength saving throw, because it's not your wisdom that's powering your magic, as we will discover.
Yep. I'm a strength-based mage.
A custom strength-based mage. Yeah, he rolled a natural 1, so roll that damage.
Oh, yeah. All right. Whoop. That's 8 damage. 8 necrotic.
Are you killing this one to put him out of his horrible misery, or are you just knocking him out?
Just knocking him out.
All right, he knocks out.
Also, I have spare the dying, so like, you know, if anyone's like about to die or whatever, like he'll definitely go around and spare them.
Unfortunately, because
that one dude's ash.
That one dude's ash. Spare the dying is not going to work on that bandit. So the one that's right next to you, that's just been sort of like dealing with his wounds, sees that his boss is knocked out. One of his friends is killed. You've knocked out the other two. He also heard that death bell. He just didn't take damage from it. He also heard that death bell, and he's like, I'll just take my boss and leave. I'll just go. I'll just go. Is it okay if I just go? I can just go.
The dragon starts nodding with urgency.
And he looks around at the group to kind of sense the vibe of if they let him go.
I look at him and say, hey, bro, you should really probably get the fuck out of here.
Uh,
That'd be a good idea.
and he just fucking books out with his buddy. I'm just gonna delete him because I'm not gonna need this bandit anymore. And books out. He grabs his boss's body and his other buddies and kind of gently rouses them, and they're like crawling out of the bar, just struggling. Maloon. Sorry, I revealed his name, but I'll have him say this.
Now you ruined the whole adventure.
The blonde guy just stands up and is like, "Oh crap! That bandit captain had conveniently he had exactly 8 gold on him plus like a handful of silver. I'll take the silver if y'all want the gold. If that would be cool with you. Otherwise, I'll just give you all of it because I didn't really do anything to get this. His body just sort of showed up next to me. But yeah. Is that something you'd be interested in?
If you hadn't included that last part, I would have been okay with you keeping the silver. But yeah, now that you bring it up, we will gladly split all of that among us.
All right.
Thank you.
Excellent. And Yagra, the half-orc, just simply says, "Name's Yagra. I appreciate the help, though I didn't need it." And just nods and just walks away. Just literally just nothing. No thank you and everything. And goes to a different table and just sort of sulks over there.
See you around.
Do you want the silver?
No. Maloon looks across at you and is just like, don't mind Yagra. She's not that interested in socializing. Anyway, yeah, let's get some drinks. What?
You seem to know what's happening. Why was she being attacked?
Oh, 'cause she killed one of their buddies a while back. Well, so killed is a weird term for when someone attacks you and you're fighting back, but we don't have a term for killing someone but it being okay, because we're also kind of generally okay with murder around here. As is displayed by the pile of ash on the floor. And he looks back at Chesme and he's like, "Nice. Super nice."
Do you want a piece of is that your first kill?
I've got a few heads stuffed and mounted behind that bar already.
Oh. I was just going to say the ash is a great keepsake.
But I do need a little bit for my amulet. You're right.
Yeah.
I could use this later. Maybe put a little bit of sprinkle on my thick spell book.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when we I'm gonna go back to the main here. No more chat in the window. So as the bar settles, a couple bar staff members or tavern staff members, not Bonnie. Bonnie's above that work. Start kind of cleaning up the mess, not touching the ash until Chesme has done it. Till Chesme has done it. Durham looks at the rest of you and kind of nods, but then also grumbles at the same time, like a dog that's confused on if it's excited to see someone or afraid of that person. Just sort of a fur about. It's kind of hard to tell what his vibe is as he kind of wipes down the bar. Maloon immediately orders a round of drinks for everyone, and as the entire bar cheers, with the bandits leading out, you hear a kind of a scraping noise, and I would say that probably in this group, Shujaa, you would be the one to hear it first because you're kind of closest. But Chesme, you also hear this kind of scraping noise coming from the direction of the Yawning Portal.
Oh.
Huh. So I look at Chesme and I say, before we take this, did you hear that?
I think I heard what you heard.
Is it Jack and Luke?
There was a scraping noise coming from the yawning pit, Fran. I imagine something down there might be hungry, unless those young guys are trying to climb back up. Maybe they found a way to climb up after they screamed violently.
Luke and Duke. Luke and Duke have survived this whole time.
Maybe it's Luke and Duke.
I find that highly unlikely, but maybe they found daggers down there that they're using to stick between the cracks of the rocks or something.
Oh yeah.
If it's those two men from earlier, then I believe we may need to help them.
The scraping is getting louder and louder as your conversation continues. It's obviously something coming up out of the pit, but the pit is dark still in vision, even if you were to lean over it. And then in a flash, like a giant green hand grabs the edge and just launches a large, oblong, long, greasy-haired, green, giant body up into the air, and it lands in a slam onto the ground, crushing a table beside it. And a troll covered in bats or bat-like creatures, these sturgises is what they are, like gripping and trying to suck on its blood, screaming in pain and anger as it has been attracted to the sound of fighting and the propensity of magic and its need to escape for its lives, appears in the Yawning Portal Tavern. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much.
I was waiting for him to pop out and say his name was Conclusions.
Oh, that would have been so good. Retcon. Did somebody say jump to conclusions? I'm always summoned by that joke. And so
it turns out to be a new villain or NPC.
And so thank you very much for doing the first session of the first module of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I will let you, or I want you each to plug whatever you want to plug here at the end of the episode. We will start with Prowess.
Oh, it's the Nerdcore VPC, which is the Vocalist Producer Challenge. I'm just going to tell you to actually go to, well, we may post a link later, but there are several of us competing in this competition, and I encourage you to vote liberally, and don't be an asshole. That's
don't cheat the system. Vote honestly. Honest votes.
Yeah.
But nerdcorevpc.com. Head over there. You can find out what it's about. You can listen to tracks. 3 of us in this group are competing. 2 of us are much better than the third. You'll figure out who it is the moment you hear my track. My rap name is my name. So you're going to know that mine must be the worst because anyone else sounds better. All right, Dragon, what do you got?
You can find me on Twitch at AAAron. It's the same name. I'm here in chat. I'll just say sup. But yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter if you want. That's me.
Dash, what do you want to plug?
Onlyfans.com/thickpiccolo.
Thick Piccolo.
Why wouldn't it just be Thiccolo?
Oh God, Thiccolo.
Thiccolo's more efficient. That's a good question.
Maybe you need to rebrand.
I actually do not have an OnlyFans called Thick Piccolo, even though I have daydreamed about doing porno videos where I'm smashing somebody in a piccolo mask. I have imagined doing it.
You absolutely.
You would make so much money.
You absolutely would have me. You would be my 8th OnlyFans subscription, and you would be worth every penny.
But no, on the
for
real, Prowess plug Nerdcore VPC. I am also in that. I'm a team called DeshCo. Definitely show us some love and show the other team some love. I'm also doing what I started in the game with a few years back, and now it's way bigger than it was when I was doing it. I'm doing weekly content drops on YouTube, youtube.com/KadeshFlow. Holla at me, help me out, help me regrow my stuff, because a lot of my old subscribers don't see my things.
Yep. And last and always least, Camille.
Hi. You should come back tomorrow night at the same time to watch Through the Mill, where I play Patience Pratt, a very different character, with the same chaotic energy, really, in a way.
Yeah. Same chaotic energy, more composed, much taller.
Yes, so much taller.
So much taller.
Also, you should give to a nonprofit you like.
Yeah, something related to cats.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. And then, of course, you can find us, Dying of Exposure. We stream 2 p.m., and by we, I mean I, and then with other players for the D&D stuff. Stream 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, retro RPGs from the 90s. And then Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Through the Mill, which is another D&D campaign. And, of course, Mondays, every other Monday here, for Waterdeep Dragon Heist, as well as go to Low Armor Cast, which if you want to hear a third game that I run that has more Aaron in it, Low Armor Cast, where podcasts are found. We also have a Patreon and an OnlyFans. Our OnlyFans is Vast Vegeta, onlyfans.com/Vast Vegeta.
Can you imagine? I mean, Dying of Exposure makes a pretty good, like, exposed Dying of Exposure or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the OnlyFans?
What if all of our shit is like thought shit in snow? Like just thought pics in snow, but it's just me, so it's real bad. It's real rough. I have no ass.
Man's legs could be so blue.
What, Aaron?
Make the Dying of Exposure's OnlyFans and put up the what the hell is it? The calendar.
Oh, the old Death Star calendar? No,
yeah,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyway, that's been us here from Dying of Exposure. Thank you very much, Desh, Prowess, Triple Aaron, and Camille. We will be back for more Waterdeep in 2 weeks' time. Otherwise, follow us on the social medias. You'll get all the updates. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.